Season 2 for Warzone is about to be massive, especially if you love Resurgence. Ranked Resurgence is the new thing here, which includes death fees, and of course, for everybody, the return of the map Fortune's Keep. They're also adding wonder weapons from zombies now into Battle Royale, and even new power-ups that you can find around the map, these being for a limited time, but one of them even disables fall damage. Next to kills, there's also going to be a new icon tracking your squad wipe streak, but really the craziest thing is a new kill streak bunker buster that will be coming to call in on a building, forcing people out of it. Although they are also adding a chainsaw underbarrel attachment. There's also another mention of Warzone Mobile coming. You'll be able to play this to progress your Warzone and multiplayer account. And of course, can immediately play Verdansk and Rebirth, two of the all-time classic Warzone maps. And at least according to the App Store, looks like will be coming just after April this year. But I just spent the last hour reading through this, and here's all the key takeaways for specifically Warzone players, as there is a lot of new information for multiplayer, including a new sniper-only mode, which I may check out, as well as a whole new chapter for zombies that is coming. But Warzone is specifically focused on Resurgence this time around, which they had mentioned previously. All of our stats that have already been played out will be incorporated in Season 2, although I didn't specifically see them mention that, although we do have other new stats coming. So what do we have? Fortune's Keep, obviously a longtime favorite map, but there's a lot of changes. And I'll do a full fly-through of it once it is out like I usually do for the maps. But we got a couple screenshots here as well. A bomb has hit the island that has torn it apart, and they mentioned both humans and undead will be present. From the top, this looks very familiar. We still have the winery, the keep, the town, of course, a very iconic lighthouse, but each of the areas seems to have at least one thing new with it. In particular, the keep, the backside now has ascenders, and a dock area. Of course, now we can actually swim in the water as well, which was not available in the last Warzone. Slightly to the west of that, another new dock has been added on the exterior, down the backside of the castle. While the graveyard on the top looks mostly the same, they mentioned that there's tunnels underneath that you can keep an eye out for. Of course, there's an entire underground for this map. It seems like it's going to be even more connected to the different points, although I am curious if the shovels will be there and some of the Easter eggs that they had in the past. The note they had for Lower Town was a helicopter guaranteed spawn on top of a now police station. But the main change to the town is a giant crack in the middle of it, which can also be used to access the bottom part of the map. Down in the southwest corner, they turned this into a restaurant, which also appears to have a tunnel entrance I don't remember. Back up to the northeast side above the winery. The Coney Group, which we saw back in Warzone 2's DMZ, has set up an outpost here, part of all of the lore for this. And down where all the tents were in the southeast has now been converted into a nice pier, where we can do some fishing. As for the lighthouse, you can see there's a crack, and they allude to here it hasn't toppled over yet, which adds to some of my suspicions because with the winery now being flooded, they also mentioned perhaps it can be drained. A lot of these Rebirth maps that they've had in the past have quite a few Easter eggs with them and little things that you can activate and do, especially if you remember Rebirth being able to open up those sealed chambers. But every part of this map really has been changed. In the very middle, the gatehouse has been broken open, and Ground Zero, which was an open cave, has now been exploded and crumbled down. Besides the map, though, the Zombies Nest and Eradicator contracts are new for a limited time at launch. This will have you investigate a corpse, follow the tracks to a zombie's nest, and either kill a high-value zombie or destroy the cysts there, likely similar to the Zombies mode. There's also a new public event, Rogue Signal, that's more of a competition to all the players alive. You'll have 90 seconds to complete a challenge. Maybe get the most kills, open the most caches, deal the most damage to players. You don't have to participate in it, but if you do, the top 3 teams will receive a cash prize in the location of a chest. It'll be locked for the initial first 30 seconds, but whichever team opens it first will instantly get the rewards, which they don't give us completely here, but they had alluded to earlier having zombies power-ups, and they do specifically mention a wonder weapon from zombies. Even if you don't know zombies, you likely know the ray gun, and I'll just tell you, they're very powerful. And the new zombies power-ups seem nice as well. You can get double points, increasing the loot from kills and ground, full armor to heal you and your squad, max ammo, fire sale for a personal discount, looting spree, adding extra items to the boxes you open, But I feel like the best is Czar Core, 60 seconds of 25% faster movement speed with infinite attack sprint and reloading while sprinting, as well as, of course, yes, disabling fall damage. Although Undead Sight, allowing you to highlight enemies in red that are inside of your visible range, as well as giving you tracker footsteps, does sound very nice. They're also introducing extendable bridges, which will cover areas that you'll need to get across that can be activated from either side, and you can do it from range, they mention. The controls react to more than just melee interactions, although we'll have to see what that entails. They also mention the wonder weapons that are being introduced do have limited ammunition, and you cannot restock them, which may help to balance them. But there's also more that's redacted. We'll have to wait to see. They're also really hyping up the squad wipe streaks, which is something outside of ranked that you can still work towards if you're playing public games. This is going to be the new skull and sickle icon next to where your kills are, and it represents the number of squad wipes that you get back to back. So once you get one full squad wipe, you'll have a 90-second timer to wipe another team and keep that streak going. After you get a full squad wipe, though, a white flare will shoot in the air, giving yourself away to other teams. Getting a high streak, though, will go towards the leaderboard, and you can get special calling cards for different milestones, with this feature also disabled in ranked. More is going to be coming in the mid-season as well, with a research vessel that says it's big enough to even fight on, a pontoon-style watercraft. The big one for me, though, is the Bunker Buster kill streak. Use the binoculars just like Precision Airstrike. It is a lethal kill streak, so will kill you if you don't move. And it's a missile that vertically decimates a building through multiple floors, hopefully clearing foes from inside. The impact also creates a long column of gas designed to force the surviving enemies out of cover. So you're not, that's going to be bad, especially if you combo it with the Precision Airstrike, which I assume you could do. We also have the return of portable decontamination stations, which they do say are even improved, this being something you could throw down in the gas to give you a protective bubble. And it also says it will reactivate buy stations that have closed, giving you an option to bring your team back or get something you might need. Of course, now we have water. It says you can use it in water. You can put it on platforms and even on vehicles and drive it around. If you guys get any good clips of this, send it to me. I 100% want to see it and react to it, okay? High level, though, what's the deal with ranked? What's new? Fundamentally, this is the same. You're fighting through the same ranks, going for the top 250 at the peak. But if you're looking forward to Battle Royale, you're going to have to be waiting until later this year. This is their first focus. It's going to be on Fortune's Keep, Trios, and yes, Resurgence. Nothing's going to carry over from the past. But now, of course, you can die and just instantly respawn with no cost, really, right? Well, there is a death fee, which they mention later is about 15 SR per time. It's still going to be free entry to get in at the beginning of the game. Depending on placement, kills, you will then get skill rating or SR. That'll allow you to rank up. Once you get to higher ranks, it's more expensive to get in, and the more you die, the harder it's going to be to climb and actually be positive. There is still a separate rank progression list, so if you get top 8, top 5, or first place, you'll get 1, 2, and 3 stars, respectively, which will do a separate progression. So it's not only about getting top 250. If you want to just grind ranked and play in more competitive matches, you can still be rewarded for that. But most people are going to be going after SR and try to perform the best they can. Something to speed you up through bronze in those lower ranks, which I do like, is there's special one-time seasonal rewards for your first kill, your first 10 kills or assists, 25 kills and assists here. That can kind of give you an early jump, but, you know, making the progress at the end of it and get to 250, you're going to have to rely on your actual skill. You're going to have to play a lot more games. Of course, we're also still getting 4 new weapons, one of them being a Ram submachine gun, new assault rifle and battle rifle, as well as a sword. So, there's also going to be 7 new aftermarket part attachments that you can put on guns, including this chainsaw underbarrel. But I'm going to go through all of these as they come out. There's so much more even in this. They've got The Walking Dead being integrated. That, I think, partly why they're doing this limited time zombies contract and such. My hope, though, is that it all actually integrates correctly when they drop it, which we'll just have to stay hopeful on, right? Especially after the Season 1 reload that they did. I wanted to at least give you guys a brief overview of anything that's going to affect your gameplay and everything with this, as I wanted to read through all of it as well. I'm sure I'll talk more about it in my upcoming videos, streams, and yes, I am going to be trying Warzone Mobile once this does drop. It's going to be a good way to level up, especially if you can't get to the computer or console. You get to play Verdansk. as well as Rebirth Island with 120 real players. And you can now pre-register if you want to try and get in a little early on it as well. But I'll be playing this day one. Let me know what you guys think. If you're going to continue playing it, maybe you're new coming back to the game. If so, welcome. Make sure you're subscribed here. I cover a ton of it on the main channel, even more on my plays. If you want to see any of the other games or more reactions and content like this, check out my Moments channel or even Beyond, where we play a bunch of party stuff. That's for this one, though. Thanks so much for watching. Stoneman64, over and out.